Most tradesmen are accidental entrepreneurs. You're great at the craft, so you bought a truck, hired a tech, and started the build. But now you're doing $1 million a year, you're working 70 hours a week, and your bank account is drier than a bone. You think your problem is marketing. You think you need more leads. I'm here to tell you, if you add more leads to a broken business, you just go broke faster. No savior is coming to fix your bank account. Not the economy, not a new lead gen app. The truth? You have a Constraint Zero problem. Your economics are a lie. And today, I'm going to show you the math that will either save your business or prove you're running a charity. It's time to reclaim your future. At Inspired Method, we use the constraint map. There are 5 major bottlenecks. The Constraint Zero is economics. It's the foundation. If your math is wrong, leadership doesn't matter. Systems don't matter. Excellence is impossible. Business is just a game of margins. If it costs you $100 to put a truck on the road and you charge $90, you lose $10. Most of you think, I'll make it up in volume. No. If you do that 1,000 times, you just lose $10,000. You aren't scaling a business. You're scaling a tragedy. Math is a moral duty. If you aren't profitable, you can't pay your guys what they're worth, you can't serve your customers with excellence, and you're stealing time from your family. This is an abdication of leadership. You cannot lead by example from a position of insolvency. There are 3 reasons your economics are killing you right now. Write these down. Number 1, the market rate trap. You priced your services based on what the guy down the street charges, but that guy is working out of his garage and has no insurance. You're trying to build a premium vanguard using garage pricing. You are subsidizing your customers' lives with your own stress. 2, fully burdened labor. You think a tech costs you $35 an hour because that's what's on their check. Wrong. Between payroll tax, workers' comp, unbillable drive time, and benefits, that tech actually costs you significantly more. If you aren't charging 3.5 to 4x their base wage, you're bleeding out and you don't even know it. Number 3, the cash conversion cycle. You're acting as a bank. You buy the materials, you pay the labor, and then you wait 30 days for the check. You're funding your customers' renovations with your own credit line. A sovereign founder takes deposits and gets paid on completion, period. Let's look at the math of a successful plumbing business that was actually a slow-motion train wreck. I worked with a guy named Jim. Jim had 2 trucks on the road doing $800,000 a year. On the outside, Jim looked like a leader. He was busy, but on the inside, Jim was a slave. He was taking home $65,000 a year while working 70 hours a week. He was 1 transmission failure away from total insolvency. The diagnosis? Jim was charging $125 an hour because that's what he thought was fair. We ran his fully burdened labor rate. He was paying his techs $35 an hour, but after payroll taxes, workers' comp, and the fact that his techs were only 65% billable due to drive time and chaos, his actual cost to put a truck in the driveway was $92 per billable hour. So Jim was making $33 an hour in gross profit. After shop rent and office admin, he was basically breaking even. The 12-month sovereign rebuild. We didn't buy more leads, we reclaimed the math. Months 1 through 3, we raised his rate to $185 per hour. Jim was terrified. He lost the bottom 20%, the price shoppers. Good. They were the ones killing his soul anyway. Months 4 through 8, we implemented a mandatory $149 diagnostic fee. No more free estimates. We used the extra margin to buy GPS routing software, moving his techs from 65% billable to 80% billable. Months 9 through 12, Jim used the new cash flow to hire a lead tech, removing himself from the tools. The result? 1 year later, revenue hit $950,000, but the net profit went from a shaky 7% to a rock-solid 22%. Jim's personal take-home went from $65K to $210K. More importantly, he went from 70 hours a week to 35 hours a week. He stopped being a technician with a paycheck and became a sovereign founder. Here's how you fix Constraint Zero in the next 24 hours. No permission needed. Calculate your burdened labor. Every penny it costs you to keep a truck on the road for 1 hour, the 15% rule. If your net profit margin isn't 15% minimum, raise your prices on the next 5 estimates and see what happens. Deposits are mandatory. If the job is over $1,500, you take a 50% upfront. You're a builder, not a bank. Our society is falling into disrepair because people have stopped taking responsibility for excellence. They're waiting for someone to pick up the torch. In your business, that someone is you. You can keep being busy and broke, or you can have the courage to fix the math. Reclaiming your future starts with the invoice. If you aren't willing to be the most expensive, most excellent option in your town, you've already lost. Build with excellence. Lead by example. If you don't know if your constraint is economics, demand, or leadership, stop guessing. I built a diagnostic tool called the Sovereign Founder Scorecard. It takes 5 minutes. It'll tell you exactly where your build is breaking. The link is in the description. Take the scorecard, reclaim your future. I'll see you in the next one.